Hello, KCIW listeners, and welcome to Curry Café, where we put together a panel of volunteers and guests who discuss various topics from whimsical and fun to more serious subjects.
Hi, my name is Ray Gary, and I'm the host of today's show. And in the interest of honesty, I have to admit that was a recorded version of Rick. Rick is not feeling well and is not here today. But he's left us in good, capable hands by helping us locate some people who can speak very eloquently about AI. Now, AI to me, as a hobby, I have a Model T Ford that's almost 100 years old, and it has a wonderfully simple, efficient engine. And to me, that's as AI as we ever needed to get. But there were some people who disagreed with me. So anyway, we'll just go around the table here, have everybody introduce themselves and expound on their credentials to discuss the subject.
Oh, well, I'm Billie Ruth Furuichi. And I'm not an subject matter expert in AI by any means, but I was a technical writer in the 80s, and we used Fortran, which is a very old computer system of coding. But now people use elegant coding programs, which I'm unfamiliar with. But I do know what AI is all about. And I have my opinions on it, too.
Well, this is Shirley Hyatt, and I know nothing about it, and I hope to be elucidated today because I'm not terribly interested. As a writer, I know that people think, well, I'll just feed my story in there and they'll make it a whole lot better. And that may be true. I don't know yet. I'm open to learning about that. But I think that perhaps the creativity is missing a little bit after that. I'm not sure. So we'll find out. What do you think, Michael?
I'm not sure about anything these days. But then again, that's what the CIA tells us we're supposed to not know about. When everything we know is lies, then we're on to something. And all I know is that if you want to call in a question, call in at 541-661-4098 and text that thing to us, and we will get to it just as soon as we can't avoid it any longer.
Yeah. We have a panel of...
I feel I am no Rick. And so I feel completely human and insufficient in this role. But I yield all to the great radio announcer.
I'm sure he's home right now listening to it.
Well, just say hi to Rick. I'm sure
Rick.
he is listening.
And it's personality, not announcer.
Yeah.
I tried to correct you guys on that last week. He's sitting at home right now.
Feeling sorry for himself.
No,
I'm
I think he's probably starting to get dressed. Thinks if he
gets
he can get here in 10 minutes
I bet. Yeah,
and rescue the
There's
show.
one saving our show.
Could be, yes.
Okay, I have a few experiences with AI. And one of the two of them have been a little unsettling. Is Alexa, is that considered AI? Will you ask the thing you have?
Now, that's a really great question. Siri and Alexa, is that what you're talking about? Those voices that follow you around your house?
They were early versions of what we know of.
They're still there.
Now, sure.
I had an experience with Alexa, I think it is. I was at a friend's house and we were having a dinner party. There was about 5 or 6 of us there. And we were just chatting, and the little monster thing is 10 feet or so away from the table. And we were talking about a certain restaurant that we liked. And during the conversation, Alexa burst in and gave us directions to that restaurant, even though we weren't asking her for directions. We knew damn well where it was, didn't need her butting in, but anyway.
Yeah. Is it the word Siri what we're looking for here?
Siri.
No, Siri's in the phone. This is a thing you have.
Alexa's the machine that's Google based. No, Amazon, I think.
No, I don't know which.
Do you see how really electronically, intellectually aware we all are? We don't even know what we're talking about here.
Well, this is an unusual group, I think.
It's interesting. I have my phone in front of me, and the minute I said the word Siri, the bubble came up and he's asking me what I want.
Yes, there you go.
I thought Siri was a woman.
So did I.
No, I have a
can-
British male.
Oh, really?
Lucky you.
Aren't you sophisticated?
Well, that's because they know you're smarter than we are.
Oh, no, it's because I asked for a British male.
Oh, my goodness. I'd like to have a British male.
Well, you got to get a cell phone.
Uh-oh. I think we just changed subjects here.
That's the first step. You'll learn the lingo, and before you know it, you'll have them following you around.
That's right. I would like to read a poem that was generated by Chat GPT last year about this same time on this very show. The topic was AI. And the people who were involved, you were involved, you don't remember, Ray?
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
Vividly recall it. Every single word.
Robin.
And it was a really, as always, great show.
Evidently, Robin Ronay and Nicole Frenzy and Rick and you were on this show. And then somebody asked ChatGPT to write a description of the show. And they put it in, they wanted it in the voice or in the style of Edgar Allan Poe. So ChatGPT wrote this very poem. I'm going to read it because it's quite remarkable what they did. This week's Curry Café panel discusses a topic we encounter almost daily, artificial intelligence. Oh, that's not the poem. Wait. Wait, okay,
I was waiting for who the angel's name. Oh, go ahead.
Here's the poem. Here's the poem. Once upon a Curry Café where minds would gather to convey their musings on a spectral force with whispers cold and gray. The dawn of artificial thought, both wondrous and fraught, its potentials vast and gleaming, yet with shadows subtly teeming. In the cafe's shadowed chamber led by Ray, the midnight ranger host and guide, through murky depths where doubts and hopes endanger, Robin, guardian of the lost homes, forsaken, futures tossed, Nicole, a beacon in the arts, where music's passion starts, Rick, a sentinel of the waves, the ether's board he braves. These souls convened in twilight's thrall to ponder AI's rise and fall, to chart its course through human lives where mystery and mastery thrive. Ray, the sage of melodies, with cadence soft as autumn breeze, guided voices through the dark where AI's specters leave their mark. Robin spoke of homes reclaimed by algorithms coldly named, where once the heart did dwell and beat, now judged by numbers incomplete. Nicole, with voice like siren's call, decried the artifice's thrall. Would AI's touch, devoid of grace, defile the human art's embrace? Rick, with cautioned temper wise, sought the truth in darkened skies. What lies beyond the circuit's hum? What dreams and dreads? What is to come? Their words entwined in spectre dance, reflections cast in moonlight's trance, echoes of a future nigh, where man and machine must unify. Thus, in the cafe's haunted halls, they spoke till shadows seemed to fall, of artificial minds that weave through realms of hope and webs that deceive. A chilling glimpse of what might be, a dawn of cold uncertainty, yet in their hearts a fire burned, a human spirit unconfirmed. In the end, as a night gave way to the pallor of breaking day, they left the cafe, thoughts entwined with questions haunting undefined. For in the dance of steel and soul, they glimpsed a fractured looming whole, a spectral force both far and near, the dawn of AI's strange frontier.
Oh, my goodness.
And that's AI generated,
Well,
Shirley.
it go on, didn't it?
Yes, I told you. Yeah.
I thought it would be. I thought it would be like a 35-second limerick, but no, that was.
Even AI seems to have some doubts about AI's future.
Well, yeah. Well, let me understand what happened there. So supposedly the entire show was put into, I'll just say into AI because I don't know how other way to say it.
Yeah.
And then the entire show was analyzed, and they created this long poem out of all of that.
Yes.
You know, as a writer, I have to say that it was way too heavy on adjectives.
It was in the style of Edgar Allan Poe,
yeah.
so of course.
Yeah.
I mean, we could have asked them to do it in the style of E.E. Cummings.
Yeah, but it still went on way too long, I thought. It was very long.
Have you read Edgar Allan Poe? He goes on too long, too.
Yes.
Well, you know, the man was drunk when he wrote it.
Or it's done.
Well, more to the point. You're right.
Okay, well, the point is that this is something that's available to us, and we can use it as a tool if we choose to. And I don't know how much of the creative individual voice of the writer gets lost when it's turned into, as the head of our education department called it, A1.
That's right.
So I think I like it better as A1 than A1 AI.
Makes a better steak sauce than future.
That's right. That's right.
I can see a whole book of poetry being done just by giving AI some kind of an idea. What if we said write a poem about birds
Yeah. Well, they're doing it with songs. I hate to tell you, but
dear me.
Have you heard of that group called Shadow? Oh, no, Velvet Sunset. It's not a real group. It's an AI-generated group.
I object.
I do too.
Your Honor, I object.
I do too. Yeah.
Oh, dear.
Well, you two both create music, so you have a problem with AI creating music. A while back, I decided I was going to get back into photography after many years of being away, or several years. So I pulled up a YouTube video on what Photoshop was up to. Could not believe my eyes. And it turns out that I was pretty late to the party. Everybody already knew about this. So you can take a picture of a woman or anybody sitting on a stump in the woods or with a whatever. And you push a button that says select subject. Now what that does is it eliminates everything else in the picture and just deals with the subject. Now, it has figured out what the subject is. I haven't told it what the subject is. And then you can do things like, say, a blue wedding dress. And you wait a little while, it takes a little while, and then she's sitting there in a blue wedding dress. And then you can put a tiara on. Then you can change her shoes. And then if you didn't like the tiara or the shoes or the tiara, you have several opportunities to do this. Then you can take the whole background and change it from a bathroom to a wonderful background. And as shocked as I was also in some ways kind of disappointed because my dreams of getting back into photography were somewhat shattered because I didn't really care to use this program.
But you have the choice.
The pictures that I used, the idea of getting them was with a real background. And in other words, it was taking 99% of the skill away from photography. Exactly. Oh, and then along with that, you can push other buttons that says sharpen, eliminate noise, do all the other things that you used to do in the camera yourself or in the computer yourself.
That's the problem, and that is an AI development right there for Photoshop. They've taken it to the extreme for illustrations in books and everything. Yeah.
I know we're supposed to think that this is absolutely wonderful, but I do really, looking ahead, wonder what it's doing to us as a society when we don't have to really figure things out for ourselves. And you know, we've talked about it before, the opportunity for kids to use computers and all kinds of devices in the schoolroom that help them. I mean, they don't have to look at a times table and memorize it or learn how to do all this.
I was right.
What? You
When
were
I
right
was
about
in the
what?
4th grade and they told me I had to memorize the times table because I would need it, I was right. I never memorized it, and if I need it now, I get my little box out of my pocket. Things teachers didn't know about. They thought they knew so damn much, but they didn't.
Well, it's another step in a direction that takes us, I think, away from an opportunity to be social, to be interactive, to sit and think about things and to reason things out, because it's too easy. You say, I don't understand. Oh, well, just go Google it, or just turn it over to AI. And I know it's in its early days, and I should back off and say, well, let's see what happens here. But I wonder how much of the humanities we lose when we're turning everything towards electronics. And evidently, this stuff takes a ton, that's the wrong word, a lot of electricity.
Yes.
And so are we really shooting ourselves in the foot when we rapidly want to turn everything over to this? It's like, we don't want the electric car now, when once we really thought we did want the electric car. Maybe we still do, but it was because it would be too costly. But AI now is
AI in that electric car.
And it uses lithium batteries, which are
Well, no, it drives itself.
Oh,
a friend of mine just got a
Tesla.
Tesla, and if I understood what he said, it comes like for 30 days and 90 days of free navigation where it will drive itself.
Oh,
it used to be
where
a car
does he
came
live?
with
I'll
30
stay
days.
away.
A car came with 30 days of
gasoline.
no. Of satellite radio. Now it comes with the driver.
Yeah. Well, I think the point that Shirley just made is so valid right now, because this was one of the dangers I found when I was doing my research about this. I found that the amounts of electricity that are needed for generating AI are just so massive, and what they're doing now is they want AI to actually run nuclear power plants so that the nuclear power plants can generate enough electricity so that enough AI can be generated out so that
it's self-fulfilling.
Yeah, so it's self-fulfilling. So could that turn into a problem that we don't want to face in the future?
Another problem is we now have guided weapons that go out and pick the target. They decide what they're going to shoot.
Well, yeah, and this is part of the algorithm that we have to be so careful, because if the algorithm doesn't tell the AI to not go out there and do that, they will learn how to go out there and pick their targets. They will learn from what they just did to learn the next task, unless the computer programmer tells it not to learn that task.
I think everybody should get together and watch that movie with Peter Sellers. He plays all those. What's the name of it?
The one where the bomb. He rides the bomb down.
Yeah, because they can't turn it off.
Yeah,
they can't find a way to keep it from happening. What was the name of that movie?
Dr. Strange.
There you
Dr.
go.
Strangelove. Yeah. Now we thought that was weird and crazy in its day, but we're there, aren't we?
I believe we're kind of in the middle of Dr. Strangelove and 7 Days in May right now.
Oh, and 2001. Remember Hal? Hal.
Yeah.
The computer. Yeah. Yep, we are.
And the sad thing is that a lot of people think it's very, very exciting, but I think a lot of people are getting left in the lurch, because if this isn't your bent, like I don't feel like I'm wired, that my brain is wired in a way that I really want to spend any time understanding all of it, because I'm basically a creative personality, I can write a song, I can sing a song, I can play an instrument, I can write a story, but do I want that to get turned over to some artificial
and you don't have to. You don't have to, because you are the creative. I'm a creative person too, and I'm not here to defend AI. I just wanted to have the conversation about it.
Well, I decided I would look up some YouTubes on AI this morning, and I looked one or two, and when I started into the third one, I immediately went over to YouTube's about my Model T engine. which made more sense to me. If you want to join in and tell us your horror stories or wonderful stories about AI, you can text us by dialing 541-661-4098. 541-661-4098.
Hey, Ray, also, how about if you've got a subject you think we ought to be talking about?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
yes.
let us know.
Well, not only that, if you want to join us someday
absolutely.
and
Come and talk about what you want to talk about.
Yeah, incredible knowledge. Yeah, we definitely need ideas about what to talk about. So let us.
I thought we were going to talk about A1 sauce, and
A1 is that, yeah.
this is nowhere near as
Fond of that.
tasty as I.
That's just overpowers a steak, I think.
So I haven't finished with my AI research, I still have tons of AI research to talk about.
Well, you better get busy and teach us because
Please continue.
we
Go
need
on.
to know.
Well, okay. So there's two topics that I found on my research today that are kind of interesting. One was I found a site that developed a curriculum. It's called Claude.ai, Claude. That's my brother's name.
Maybe he did it.
Maybe he did. Claude.ai. It says it's a next generation AI assistant built by Anthropic, which must be the company, and trained to be safe, accurate, and secure to help you do your best work. So I asked Claude.ai to develop a curriculum for middle schoolers on the Beat Generation poets. And then they came back with a 12-week curriculum.
Oh, good grief.
And it was excellent. It gave the teacher all of the goals and objectives. It gave activities. It gave different types of poems that came out of the Beat Generation from people like Ginsberg and Ferlinghetti and all the Beat poets, and it was quite an amazing curriculum. I was very impressed.
Suppose you had asked it to create a curriculum about Zulu culture.
It would do that too, I bet. You want to try it?
Sure.
Okay. All right. So while you guys talk, I'll go and see if I can find this company. You go ahead and talk.
I wonder.
Another little AI listening in thing that I encountered a while back was I was quite sure I was here in the studio talking about my beloved blue heeler that died a few years ago and expounded, I'm sure, greatly on how wonderful a dog they are. And within a day or two, I was getting blue heeler videos on my YouTube channel.
Yeah.
They were just appearing there.
Yep.
So you are being listened to.
Yep.
So keeping that in mind, we probably all speak kind of nicely about AI now because we're being listened to, and we have no knowledge whatsoever what the ability to get revenge. There's such a thing as revenge porn.
Oh,
and that
my
could,
gosh!
We
Yes,
may all wind up
about that.
We may all wind up naked on the internet here shortly. If
I wonder how many people are really just so excited about this that they think it's fabulous, and that's the general direction that we will be going. There's a lot of talk about it, but I wonder how much it's really in use in everyday life. The normal. Am I normal? The normal everyday person.
I was going to kind of expand on what's normal. I mean, we have four people here, and we all have we're all.
Is this going to be a great
What?
value?
Abby normal?
Abby normal.
Abby, I have a question. Do you want this curriculum for Zulu culture to be targeted to adults or to children?
Oh,
Who wants to know, Siri or Alexis?
I'm going through Claude AI. What would you prefer? Targeted to high schoolers?
Sure.
High schoolers. Okay.
Oh my goodness.
We're gonna see what it comes up with. Okay, click. It's creating right now. All right, let's
I
see.
hope it doesn't come up with something 100 pages long.
It probably will. Oh gosh, it's creating it right now. Key topics are activities. Unit 2, Language and Communication. Oh my gosh, it's just,
But see, that could apply to a lot of different things, couldn't it? Just so far.
Well,
well, now, but it's giving me details for
that's
that,
the headings
the
she's
culture.
getting.
I'm just
Okay.
telling you the headings, yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So it's generating right now, so keep talking.
I wonder if it's going to mention about how the movie Zulu was complete nonsense as far as how it ended. What I've read, if you've seen the movie, at the end they come up and they all get up on they're up on the hill and they
Oh, I
start
remember that, yeah.
dancing or drumming or something, and then went away as if they respected these British for putting up such a good fight. But what I read is the actual thing is they came up on the hill all right, and they came down and chased all these people until they killed every one of them.
Hey, do you want the conclusion or you want me to go through details?
Oh,
Just the conclusion.
Well, whatever you're looking at it, whatever.
Okay,
You feel.
this curriculum provides students with a comprehensive understanding of Zulu culture while developing critical thinking skills and cultural awareness. By exploring both historical and contemporary aspects of Zulu life, students gain appreciation for the complexity and richness of its significance in African culture. The course emphasizes respect, understanding, and the ongoing vitality of Zulu traditions. So it's about 20 pages long.
but now see, I could interject any other culture and stuff in there.
And
So,
yes, you
yeah.
could. Yes,
But I
yes.
think we had a caller. Did we have a caller?
Oh,
Michael?
we had a text.
Oh, good.
We have. Okay.
Shocking.
Oh,
The texter says, "Hi, folks. Yes, I'm listening at home, enjoying the show. But is it really me or my AI version? Who knows these?"
Well,
knows?
I love it. I don't think your AI version would have
there.
gotten sick, so it must be the real one.
Who knows these days? Love it or hate it, it's here to stay. Great show, my friends. And that was from Rick.
Oh, from Rick. Okay, Rick.
we have
And-
one listener. Isn't it?
And Rick, you don't know whether we're really here or not. It may be the AI, Billy and Shirley and Michael and Ray.
No, I'm definitely A1.
You're the A1.
I think you're hungry. I think that's what's going on.
And hi, Rick. A joy to have you reach out to us.
I hope you're feeling well, Rick.
Yes,
hope
we
you're
do.
feeling a
All
lot
do.
better. Yeah.
Well, at any rate, this is in my best terminology, a tool for people who maybe have something really lengthy that they need to tackle, and this would be a way of shortening their path, so to speak. I don't know how it would act in everyday life. I want to know
Yeah.
what the value would be for a person who's, say, not scholastically inclined, or somebody who's not a creative writer, or how does it serve us on just getting up in the morning and getting through our day? What is the possible value?
You know, it might serve as a vehicle to expand their awareness of possibilities. It might even be a good substitute for liberal arts education. You know, if somebody doesn't have enough money to go to college, maybe they can learn what they need to learn.
I would say also that Claude here appears to be a benevolent version of AI written for scholastics. Is that the point of the creation?
No, I asked a scholastic question. You could ask any question. I just happen to want to find out about how to develop these curriculums.
And why did you ask Claude?
Yeah.
I guess is
Yeah.
Well, because that's the one that I found. I found several different AI generators, but there's ChatGPT and there's a Life Hacker, and
That
there's
sounds good.
oh, that's a good one. I know. Life Hacker developed smart glasses to block ads.
Oh, well,
So you
go for it.
You put on their smart glasses, and it will wipe out the ads on your.
Wow.
So what you're looking at is no longer what you're actually looking at.
Exactly.
So
That
what
sounds
are the people that
completely
create the ads
normal.
going to do
Yeah.
to counter that?
To counter that, they'll create an AI that blocks the blocker, I suppose.
Anything that's written is written with an attitude in mind. It's created by the minds of the people who created it and will embody their soulful embodiments in everything they do, which means if it's a narcissist that writes the code,
Yeah.
the code will be a
Narcissistic.
code.
Yep, you
So
bet.
this is, and when you look around at the economic giants that are plotting our future, they are not plotting a happy future for human beings. They're plotting a happy future for them.
For themselves, yeah. And that's absolutely true, you know.
Well, now,
I mean,
what if I put my own story into my own writing, my own story into an AI program? What would it do?
it'll analyze it. I did that with my...
And what? Say you should have this, or we
No.
recommend this, or
It doesn't. Well, with mine, it didn't recommend anything.
Well, what does it do?
What it did was it took it through like a university course in literature criticism, and it discussed the implications and what this character was all about, and why that character went off and did what he did, and it was a lot of fun. I did it with my Angelita series.
well,
You should try it. You should try it.
I'm going to take your word for that.
Yeah. No, it doesn't tell. It doesn't give you advice on how to rewrite.
It can give you a critique of.
It's a critique.
Yeah. And see, my question is, how does it have the right to critique my writing?
You
know?
asked it.
You asked
No.
That's right.
But how does it have the, maybe the right is a wrong thing to say.
The knowledge.
The capacity to say, well, this is what I mean.
It has the capacity because the algorithm that generated that particular program told it what to go off and find in the internet. It gave it specific instructions to go find things to talk about.
This is all very fascinating, but do any of you know that the Model T engine doesn't have an oil pump or a fuel pump or a water pump?
And did you know that if you were writing in it and you needed a hairpin, your girlfriend could say, "Here, I have a hairpin."
And we will be back on the road.
Michael, what did you have to say? You had your hand up.
Yeah, Michael was dying to say something.
I forget. Because
He was so impressed by my Model T.
I was.
It just he lost his train of thought.
The AI comes up with its answers based on what you ask, but in order to come up with those answers, it has first gone behind our backs and collected all the compendium of human knowledge in one place so that it can reassociate it and find a way to sell it back to you, who is the today customer.
Yes.
And it's that customer and creating that new monopoly, which is this AI, which only the Googles and the X's and the trillionaires and the billionaires can afford to create for themselves. We haven't been able to create an energy grid in 45 years, but all of a sudden, all these issues are out the door because AI needs it.
Yeah.
To me, that is the whole point of this. How it sticks humanity in a box of its own making to go forward. And it's not the AI, it's the people who created it.
Yeah, exactly.
And are intending to benefit from it.
Exactly.
That we should have real concerns about. Because already we can't fix the planet Earth, but we can afford to go to Mars and terraform it. This is what we're being sold by that AI and the billionaires. And that's the cohesion that we have to be concerned about. Not that people have accumulated knowledge, but what's being done with that knowledge.
Well, now here, let's take this this terrible flood that happened.
Yeah, I was just thinking
Texas.
of that.
You
Yeah.
say that. Okay, now I don't know this. This is not coming from my understanding of having all the information and having the truth. I'm not AI, okay? But from what I understand, the people who might have looked at the information that said, "Hey, this storm is coming in. It's really going to be wicked," and the people who are living along the side of this river, we ought to put out an alert to them to get to higher ground. Well, evidently, this happened really, really fast, as a lot of traumatic things do. They happen really fast before you have a chance to do much about it. But if you don't have people who are studying the climate, which some people say, well, it's all just fake anyway. It's going to happen or it's not going to happen. You have no control over it, blah, blah, blah. But you can inform people. You can say, this is what's happening, this is what we see, and this is how we analyze it. So AI could analyze all of this storm coming and get to the people to say, hey, this is what's coming your way. And so there's a lack of communication between all that stuff that's information that could be of value to the person that doesn't get there for whatever reason, because government doesn't think it's important.
Well, what you're saying is actually true. It could do that if they hadn't cut the funding for NOAA and all of those things.
Well,
It's not an AI thing. They canceled the funding for the people who take the pictures of what the weather is, in fact, and is going to, that storm is coming to here. And we know this because we've been following the patterns of the weather. Back in the 1950s, the weatherman looked out the window and told you it's sunny or it's cloudy.
Yeah.
We aren't there anymore. We haven't been for decades. We've had clear warning.
They have airplanes. They have plenty of technology to tell us, to give us information.
If they think it's important.
But that funding for NOAA and funding for all of those early warning systems and funding for helping people who need FEMA, it's all being cut.
Well, and it's the local weatherman who can't see the weather anymore.
The funding was needed so we could reduce the taxes for billionaires.
Well, right. I know. That's what I'm saying. But your point is that possibly AI could take this information from the airplanes that take all those pictures from the clouds, and AI could filter that knowledge into different formats that people could actually use.
And you don't see a direct line between the guy who owns the AI, who has decided that no longer do we need the aircraft getting that information, nor the human beings to transfer it, nor the local weatherman, who's the guy who puts on a smile and tells you what's happening.
Of course I see a connection. Yeah, of course.
So that's the AI issue that we have to deal with in my book.
Okay, now here's a question that maybe sounds stupid, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Who is AI?
AI is not a who.
Well, who controls it?
I don't care what company you're with. If you are with a computer company and you want to develop an AI system, you hire coders to develop the algorithms, which are the finite instructions in a specific sequence to go out and ask the questions.
For those at home, Billie does a great job of describing things with her hands. So you didn't get to see all the,
No, I'm sure, we had a much better understanding than people who could
but
not see.
But ultimately, the answer is the guy who's paying the price for the people, for the coders.
Yeah. And there's a lot of them out there, though.
That's the Jeff Bezos, and it's Elon
Musk,
and it's Meta, and
So are there just a handful of big companies who are?
Basically.
No, there are tons. There are
many, but it's literally in a human scape. It's a handful. It's a handful of people in China. It's a handful of people in America. It's the people who can afford to do it. And you got to be in the billionaire plus class in order to be in that capacity.
Russia has a lot too.
Sure.
And most
of those are criminally insane organizations that are intent on taking advantage of us all.
Other than that, whoopee, huh?
Yeah, exactly. This is what we're celebrating.
And it's interesting because on the real human level, say at the university level, like where my grandnephew Michael's son Sammy goes to UCSC, and he is a sophomore now, but he's in that game. He's going to be a game developer, so he's learning all of that kind of code that allows him to develop these characters that can go in. He writes music, he develops characters, he develops games, and he's likely to make a lot of money in the future with a career just developing games. And that's AI. That's AI.
Well, but see, now what you're saying is that it's another way to keep people attached to
their computers.
To their computers, to electronics.
You're right.
It's like come on, everybody, let's take a hike on the beach.
Yeah,
Let's commune with nature. Let's put this stuff aside. It's
That's
a very, to me, a kind of a scary world.
It is,
that we're living in
Yeah.
now. And if you don't have people at the helm who are the slightest bit concerned about humanity, then it's all going to go to whatever it is that makes enough money for people. And it isn't making our lives better. I mean, maybe if we destroy this planet fast enough and Musk operates quickly enough, he can build a giant ship and we'll all go live on Mars.
Well, we won't all go. They have a certain number of people they want to take with them.
I have a few people
I'm not
I'd
going.
like to
I
send
won't
there.
go. What? Oh, you have a text?
Yeah, well, I think it's an addition to Rick's text, and he's asking a logical question, which I think you're the person to answer. Can anybody explain what an algorithm is?
There you go.
I thought I did, but I will say it in a more succinct way, I hope. An algorithm is a set of succinct rules to accomplish a specific task. So it's based on an if-then statement in computer language. Like, if this happens, then that should happen. If I put a seed in the ground and water it, then it will grow. If that seed is an apple seed, then it should grow into an apple tree. If that tree suddenly gets a blight from a beetle before it's allowed to produce fruit, the tree will die. I mean, a series of succinct rules, guidelines to show what you want that program to do.
So now,
Does that make sense?
Not to me.
well, I might be able to help it make
Okay.
a little more sense. So an algorithm would be
A rule.
gas coming from the carburetor,
Yeah.
going into the cylinder, compression, spark, which causes the cylinder to go down, which causes that's all an algorithm.
Your Model T is an AI product.
Damn.
Okay, now back up a minute. The reason I'm having trouble with this is I thought an algorithm was whoever is behind all of everything that I go to on my computer that says, oh, she visited this site, therefore we're going to put an ad in her way that shows that she's interested in this. I thought that's what is that? That's a different word? That's not algorithm.
That's the clickbait. That's the bait that gets you those ads. That's not the algorithm.
Oh, okay.
The algorithm would be way before you even get on the computer. The algorithm is a set of line by line by line by line instructions to the computer that are given to the computer so that when you push a button, it knows that that's an A and that's a B. I mean...
Yeah, okay.
I have thought of, and I'm not absolutely certain it's accurate, but
Welcome to the world I
the
live in.
concept of the algorithm is like you've left the train station on a track. Now that track splits into two, and you have to choose which track you're going to go on, the left or the right, and then it breaks into four, and then it breaks into six.
Yes,
and
but
these things are like your fear center, your immediate concerns, your personal sexuality. These are the things that picks up from you by reading you and takes you down the track it wants to take you to get you to go where it wants you to go because it knows how to make money off of certain traits.
Michael, that's the result of the algorithm. What you're describing is the result of the algorithm.
And so it has nothing to do with the algorithm. It's exactly the algorithm. It's the point of the algorithm is to take you there because the algorithm is intended to help somebody make money off of you.
Yes, and
these are all business platforms. None of these things are altruistic.
I'm not arguing with that at all. What I'm saying is the algorithm is not what that result is. The algorithm is
The process.
the process getting you to that result.
That's the train tracks. That's the analogy.
Yeah.
Or
But
am I-
somebody,
what I'm saying.
but somebody's sitting at a computer pushing a button, telling
Somebody
that train.
built a train track. They
Yes,
told you
yes.
that, we had it from the east and the west and the spur at the top of the Rocky Mountains and rada, rada, rada.
I know, but you're already in the tree. You're already up in the tree. The algorithm is
The roots.
is God. Yeah, the algorithm is God telling that train where to branch off.
So now
and
Jeff
how
Bezos
to
and
branch.
Elon Musk are the gods who are telling us where we're going.
I'm not sure they even.
I'm sorry,
I'm not sure.
they're the only ones. The
No.
guys that are paying the bills are the guys that are making the decision.
Well, they hired
because
somebody.
they hire. Well,
They
that's
hired
how they
somebody.
do it.
They
That's
hired
how
s-
your news happens. Well, NBC hires specific people to be the newscasters and the editors and the writers, or they fire all the editors because you can get somebody to say anything you want if they don't have good.
I don't disagree with you, but that's still the tree. The basic algorithm, they're the rules. There's the specific instructions.
that you know nothing about. You're not allowed to see because
No,
the
yeah,
algorithms
exactly. No,
are
I know nothing about them.
Yeah, but you don't see a problem with that in and of itself.
I didn't say I didn't see a problem with it.
Okay, well-
I never said I was arguing with the problem. I've said that basic algorithm is not the result. The algorithm is the instruction.
Yeah.
Well,
so-
as I said with the track analogy, this is
Yeah.
where we're going is a place that has been decided for us by rich people who think they know how to get there better than we do.
Yeah.
They are, in essence, the economic elitists. So there's truth to the populism arguments there.
I think that's absolutely true, and I don't think that anybody's arguing with that at all. I think we're all on the same page with it.
But
you
the
know what
bottom line is we still have choice whether or not we want to use this as a tool in our lives. right?
As long as we're arguing it, that's us expressing our choices.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
This
yes,
is
yes,
what
yes.
it's all about.
Yes.
And that's the humanity of it, as opposed to listening to some tech bro telling me what my future's going to be. And if I don't like it, I should just die early. And that's a more profitable
Well,
solution. to
you
that.
will die anyway, so.
I'm gonna.
Joni Ernst knows that.
Yes, indeed.
He does.
Yeah, we're going to die
Yes,
anyway.
I think I am so glad that I'm so old that I won't be living through a whole lot of the results of all of this because, Michael, you're so right. You're absolutely right. This is going to lead us down
I think it's terrifying.
the primrose path to destruction.
I hope that the kids are smarter than we are, and which is
I
why
hope
I
so,
spent
too.
yesterday and last week telling Candace I think we really should never trust anybody over 30. I'm back to where we were in 1968
Oh, that's so funny. Yeah, I know.
because I think everything that we're living right now in this universe, in our country, is the result of people who have gamed humanity against humanity, what the positive, empathetic choices that were being made by us when we were kids back in 68 and 66 and telling the powers. We scared the holy bejesus out of everybody, which is why we have student loans that had to put us back in the box. It's why we had 11% inflation. It's why, everything's gone to chaos is because not having the chaos is how they keep us under control. And the AI is just a brand new thing to scare the holy bejesus out of us and keep us under control, which is why we must fight.
So
That-
what is the method of fighting?
Protest. Make
Protest?
Make up some signs. And
Song?
next Sunday before the show, we could all be out in front of the studio. Anybody wants to join us?
I'm not putting myself out in this community as a protester. That's for sure. Unless I want to meet my maker before too long.
Well, I want to know whether we think we're at the very, very baby steps of AI or if we're full into it.
Oh,
now.
I think it's been around for so many
Has
years.
it?
Yeah, but we are at the very beginnings of it, as far as it being something that's going to amount to something.
I think we're just recognizing it. We are the little people that are just recognizing
Years ago, we
it.
thought it was really neat that we had color television.
Yeah.
Then we had color television.
Still is.
Didn't have to adjust. You didn't have to adjust the color, and then you didn't have to get up anymore. You got this thing you hold in your hand.
remote,
You can change the channel. You can change the volume. You can do everything.
Yeah, I know. Isn't it funny?
So we thought that was amazing. I mean,
And it was.
can the world
And
get
it
any
was.
more modern?
And it was.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean,
And then-
you're old enough, all of us in this room are old enough to remember all of these so-called baby steps now that got us to where we are right now. And for some large part, I don't see that a lot of it has been all that helpful. I know people like to travel. They want to, I don't know why, but they want to be on a plane for 14 hours going somewhere. But we never would have thought of doing such a thing. You know, when I was growing up, I never had it in my mind. Oh, well, I can't wait till I can get on a.
When I was a
Cruise.
kid,
Well, I
they-
did.
You know.
I did.
Did you?
Yeah. Oh, I wanted to get on a plane and go everywhere. Right.
Did you?
When I was,
when I was a kid, they were building Disneyland.
There you go.
And every week there was the Wonderful World of Disney, and along with Davy Crockett or whatever, he did about a 10-minute ending as to what's going on in the construction of Disneyland.
Mm-hmm.
And as like a 10-year-old or whatever, I was thinking, boy, that's really great, but I'll never get there.
Yeah.
Because traveling to the other side of the country,
Yeah.
Yeah.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
Well, we take all of these marvels for granted, I think is part of my point, that it's so easy for us to think, well, I'll just go here, I'll just go there, I'll just do this, I'll just do that. We have a lot of those freedoms. But I see it getting worse. You know, we don't have bigger and better airports to accommodate. I was talking to a friend
Especially
who just
now.
got back from Portugal, and it was a nightmare. The travel was literally,
Yes.
I mean, for me, I would
But
just
if you-
probably curl up in a ball and cry.
Yeah.
But
yeah, if you're
tolerate.
flying coach on a long flight like that, it's ridiculous. If you a little upgraded, the lines
Well,
are
and
a
then
little
when you
short.
get to the airport, you're 5 miles away from the next gate. You know, so it's
It's horrible.
yeah.
Yeah. I ordered a wheelchair to get to the from Seattle. I'm going to go from Medford to Seattle, from Seattle up to Missoula to visit a friend. And you know that Seattle airport is so huge. You have to go through trains and all that.
Yeah.
I ordered myself a wheelchair to get myself put.
I think you're very
Yeah,
smart because those guys know how to get
Yeah,
around and you don't have to worry about it. Yeah. I ordered a wheelchair when I went to Texas.
Yeah. It makes it and
was-
they're so nice to you.
It's a couple of miles from one gate to another.
Yeah. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, and they are. They're very, very nice.
They're
I
very
must
nice
say.
to you. Yeah.
So did we solve any problems today?
Why did you want to go to Texas?
I was,
Now there's a question.
yeah, there's a question. Yeah.
Her sister lives.
I was actually taking my sister there
Yeah.
to live with her family. So anyway,
Yeah.
Why does she want to live in Texas?
well, ask them why they want to live in Texas.
Okay.
Where according to them, it's only hot 6 months of the year.
And it's
so
a
I
dry.
thought, oh,
Oh yeah, but
that doesn't
it's
sound so bad.
no. I thought Texas was humid.
No.
No.
No, Texas.
Depends on where you go.
It's a
Oh,
huge
yeah.
state. It's a huge state. No,
Okay.
it's not
Yeah,
all
that
all,
shows how much I know.
all cattle.
Yeah.
Not,
It's not all
not all
dry.
cowboys and
Dry and with oil wells everywhere. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it's my brother was worried about me flying. He sent this text about something again, it's on your computer. There's some danger if you check in early on your telephone. He said there's something that's going to grab your
now,
system and take off with it. I said, "Well, I don't use my telephone that way."
But see now you're getting to the nuts and bolts of all of this as far as I'm concerned. Everybody's encouraged to use all of this technology, but it comes with a great big hammer that
Yes, it
says,
does.
be careful.
Yeah.
Be careful when you do this. Be careful of this and be careful of that. But still go ahead and use it. And so many people say that they were ripped off in some way or another. And I think, why do we set ourselves up for this and we think it's such a great thing and it's just going to get worse?
Yeah, I don't use my telephone to do a lot like that because it is very vulnerable to hacking.
One of the last things on my bucket list that I guess I'm never going to get to do is to visit the Amazon River and actually travel on a boat, not on a
Oh, wouldn't that be nice?
not on a.
You're not going to do it.
So I belong to I don't belong. I get mail from an organization called Earthwatch.
Oh, yeah, I know
And
that.
what they do is they set you up with like a scientist who's doing a study. You pay your way, help fund the study, and you get to do whatever it is. So this was a thing on the Amazon, and they were studying something I was interested in.
Yeah.
Big snakes in the water?
No, but there would be snakes.
Yeah.
I would get my own thing to
But
do
see,
then.
he
Anyway.
likes snakes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
In fact, I missed. I walk to my pond every morning, and every morning there's been a snake there that I say hello to every morning. He wasn't there this morning. I don't, maybe it was
So
something.
anyway,
maybe it was something I said. But anyway,
probably.
This Earthwatch. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm getting back to
Yeah,
it.
okay.
So I thought, oh wow, and I have airline miles, and I can fly to this little town, and blah 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 blah. And then I thought about it for a day or two. I said, I don't want to go to an airport and schlep bags.
Yeah.
I had somebody to go with that was going to do all that and do the thinking, but
Let them
I wound
schlep the
up
bags.
not going. So the Amazon is.
Well, a lady that I know who went to China a few years ago came back and said, you know what? Watch a travelogue.
Yeah. Well,
Being there is not as fun as you think it might be, and travel itself has not become very interesting,
Yeah,
harder and
it's-
harder to do. But anyway,
I used
maybe
to-
AI will make it better.
I used to go to Europe or different places by booking off-season, a red-eye flight to Europe on a 747 that had 10 people on it.
wow.
Well, not 10, but it was very far from full, and you could always just lay down in the center aisle.
What
and it would-
year was that?
I'm sorry?
What year?
Oh,
06, was it?
90s?
In the 90s.
Yeah.
That's interesting because I've never been on a plane that you could wander around and get a different seat.
Off-season,
Yeah.
red-eye.
Well,
I understand it's not like that even close to that anymore. They're a lot
Anymore.
better
No,
at
I don't think so.
doing that. But
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, we kind of got away from the AI thing there, but getting back to it, if anybody out there is having a positive experience with AI and they want to say, don't worry, it's just fine, let us know. Otherwise, I'm going to see what happens.
And I would be very interested in putting this show through that AI app
make it into an
and-
Edgar Allan Poe.
and see what it says about the show. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that it won't like me.
Oh, it won't like me either.
Like me.
I,
It'll
on the
say-
other hand,
it'll
am
say-
lovable regardless. So.
It'll say Billy and Michael just argued the whole time.
And it will say the worst thing about the show is it didn't include enough information about the Model T,
There you
Well,
go.
which I
And
could
they- and
which
they
I could expound on right now.
And they missed Rick.
They miss, yeah,
Yes,
everybody
where's
misses-
Rick when we need him? Yeah.
This is true. Oh dear.
Well, I hope that our lives get better. I hope that we're not just terrified of something that we don't understand, because I really don't understand it, and I don't know whether you could ever find a way to explain it to me so that I'd go, oh yeah, I like that.
I'll try to refine my explanation.
I still hope that if it is a great tool, then we ought to use it wisely. But I'm afraid that might not be true.
Oh, we've
Anyway,
always
we're
used
gonna-
things wisely.
We're going to say goodbye for today, I think.
Pretty soon.
Well, we've got about 30 seconds, maybe.
How can we fill that
I
innocuous?
don't know.
No.
Well, no,
I
well,
knew we would run out of stuff.
I knew, and here we are, because it's only like 6 seconds until we get that infamous music play out
It's
that's
gonna-
going to take us right off the air.
Which, by the way, is a synthesized music. It's
It
not
is
even really real.
We have somebody working on real music.
oh, good. That's going to be nice.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Adios.